quickly threw together a video about multiplication, both the original way we were working on it and one with partial product or place value multiplication. So let's take a look at the original way. I gave the number 32 on the bottom two separate colors so you can see each step that I work on. So we're going to take the number 362 and multiply it by 32. So we first start all the way over to our right with the first digit, which is our 2. So you start at the bottom and you go to the top and multiply each number. So you'll do 2 times 2 first, which will get you 4. Then you'll do 2 times 6, which will get you 12. You put the 2 down, you carry your 1, just like if you normally are multiplying. And then you'll do 2 times 3 plus the 1, which will get you 7. Now that's just the first number. From there, we're going to move on to our second number, which is the 3. Now, because this number 3, the red one here, is in the tens place, we need to put a placeholder 0 so that we move all our numbers and keep it all lined up. Now this seems to be a part in which a lot of us are getting confused, is the next step from here. We now once again take our 3 and we multiply the entire top all the way over to the right and continue across. So we do 3 times 2 to get us 6. We do 3 times 6 to get us 18. Now we put the 1 up top at the next digit we're working on. So since we just multiplied the 6, we carry over the 1 here to the 3. And then we do 3 times 3, which would be 9 plus the 1, which would give us 10. Don't mind the numbers that are kind of running away here. They just would not stay put for some reason. So they're just kind of all wibbly wobbly. Yay! So now that we have no more numbers up top to multiply by, we come down into this little section. This is our addition section. This is where we add the two products. So the product from our first number, which is here, and the product from our second number, which is here. And we add them together to find the product of the entire problem. So you'll do your 4 plus 0, which will give you 4. Your 6 plus 2 to get you 8. You'll do your 8 plus 7, which is going to get you 15, and you're going to carry the 1 over here. Now I know it looks a little confusing because we've been carrying over to the top the entire time, but since we're adding and we're here now, we only carry over in this section. So we carry over to the next digit, like if we normally are adding, you do your 1 plus 0, which will get you 1, and drop down the 1. So this would be your answer for 362 times 32. If you were confused by any of the steps, rewind it, watch it again, see how it goes. Now let's move on to the place value multiplication. We worked on this a little bit today, and I know it may seem confusing, but this is another way for you to work on multiplication in case you struggle with the traditional way of doing it, or if you like this way easier because you're usually multiplying with just zeros. So let's take a look here. Let's take the number 62 times 32. We set up a 4 square. This 4 square is going to allow us to separate the numbers into a nice pattern so that way we can kind of add what we need to add. So we're going to take this 32 here first, and we're going to take the 2. The 2 is in the ones place. So because it's in the ones place, we just place the 2, as it normally is, right here. Now we're going to move over to the 3. Well, the 3 is in the tens place, so the value or the worth of that number 3 is 30. So we're going to put the 30 right here. And we're going to do this again with the top number, and we're going to put it on the side. So once again, we're going to go to the 2 and place it here because it's in the ones place. And the next spot would be the 6. Since it's in the tens, the value is worth 60. So this is how we set up our 4 square. Now we have to go step by step into multiplying our numbers. So we're going to go to this first box here, and we take the two numbers that work with this box. So that's 60 and 30. We're going to work right in this box. So the easiest way to multiply across the zeros is take your first two numbers, like 6 and 3, and multiply them together. Well, 6 times 3 is 18. Now we take a look, since we're multiplying across zeros, at how many zeros are in the original problem. Well, there's 60 times 30, so you just add 2 zeros. So you'd have your 18 and then your 2 zeros. So 60 times 30 is 1,800. Now we're going to go across. So you go over to this box, 2 times 60. Again, you just do 2 times 6, which will get you 12. We have 1 0, so our answer is going to be 120. Now we come down to this one. You have your 2, move over to the first box, and you look up at the top number, which is 30. We again multiply 3 times 2, which would get us 6, and we have 1 0, so that's 60. And then we move over this way, and 2 times 2 is 4. Now this is where it gets a little tricky. Now we kind of have to add all four of these numbers together. I like to, and you don't have to do this, but I like to just add straight across my row and then add what my two sums would be. So I'd take 1800 or 1800 and add 120, and I get 1920. And then I like to take 60 plus 40 and get 64. And then I like to add these two together to get 1984. This is a way to multiply using just place values. If at any time you felt confused during this video, please go back, rewatch, and see if it helps you out. I know that some of you did not feel comfortable with the place value multiplying because it is a lot of extra steps. But it's a nice way to see what we're actually multiplying when we multiply double-digit or triple-digit numbers.